Revelation chapter 5. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power, and riches, and wisdom, and strength, and honor, and glory, and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven, and on the earth, and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, Blessing, and honor, and glory, and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb, for ever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him that liveth for ever and ever. In Revelation chapter 5, we're really starting to get into the vision, the very striking imagery and very heavenly. Whenever you're talking about the heavenly in the Bible, whenever people are getting visions of the heavenly, it's very strange and unusual, the descriptions. It's like, I guess, not like you would expect. And even when people have those like what angels really look like videos, and you know the descriptions that say that there's eyes all around them, and they give them like human eyes all around them. I don't think that's even what we're all going to be shocked and amazed, I think, when we finally see this stuff with our own eyes. And who knows, maybe we don't even see it correctly because of the way that our eyes are right now, and our glorified bodies are going to see things differently even. But anyways, that's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about when all this happens, and all the symbolism that goes on. I have written down here just a giant number 7, and how the book was sealed with 7 seals. 7 is just a really big number when it comes to the Bible and symbolism. In my opinion, it seems like the number 7 represents power. It's like the most powerful number, it seems like to me, just in terms of the types of feelings that I get from it. I mean, this is even an interesting topic of synthesia. When people's colors and stuff get mixed up, a lot of people, they associate numbers with specific colors associated with different numbers. Anyways, it's just a side topic. And 7 seals, the whole 7 seal thing, and how nobody's worthy of doing such a thing. It reminds me of the sword and the stone, and that's another SS thing. Sword and the stone. And the whole 7 thing. Why 7? Why did I write down 7? Because my whole life I've been surrounded by people that have known about this aspect of life, that numbers are important, that numbers actually matter, numerology. But it's this weird thing where it's like 90% of people who have a 777 username or something like that, they'll just say, oh, that's like my favorite number. Or I don't know, I liked it. And that's, I would say, the general response that you get from people. And like, I even have a friend, I asked, why do you have that number in your username? Oh, I just like that number. And now I hardly believe people when they say stuff like that. I mean, even regular people that don't know about numerology and all that, they still would have a reason, usually, for why they picked that number. Oh, I was that old when I made this account, or it's the year it was, or whatever. Generally, people have reasons, and it seems like a lot of time the 777 people, they won't come out and explain why they're into it. And so I'll just say, I think that numerology is a real thing. Numerical importance, the importance of certain numbers and symbolism associated with numbers. But I more think of gematria and that kind of thing in a be as wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove. Meaning, understand and know that people use numerology and that it matters, but don't try to use it for your own gain or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't go around making all my usernames and things like 33 orange manatee and like trying to get people, because that's how people in the club operate. Like, I legitimately think that a lot of club members, they make it through life by just like chuckling away at all the inside jokes, and they like literally do get things out of it by being stupid like that, by making it known. Oh, orange is my favorite color. I just hear people say stuff like that. And it's like, what, are you getting kickbacks from the system by doing stuff like that? Anyways, be as wise as a serpent. Understand that people do this stuff, but whatever people do today is probably a corruption of that. The fact that 33 is a big inside joke and a big club thing, that's probably a corruption of a real biblical idea that certain numbers do have special powers to them. Magic is real, and so mathemagic is a real thing. God made the integers, and God knows all the most interesting number facts about stuff. I mean, studying the interesting mathematical properties of numbers is a big thing that people do, and you can almost consider that like discovering one aspect of God. And yeah, if you can really study the integers, it's just an interesting concept. One of the most basic things that God created is counting the numbers. Okay, that was kind of a mathy side topic. There's a mention of a strong angel, which begs the question, are there angels that looked not so strong? What does a strong angel look like? Maybe even more intimidating than normal. There's two mentions of under the earth. Maybe the first one is people, and then the second one mentions animals, but I just find it really interesting that it's just like and just totally makes it seem like it's no big deal when it's mentioned that people living under the earth. Did you guys catch that? I didn't write the exact verse, but I think it's at the beginning of Revelation 5. It's like a very casual mention of humans that neither under the earth. And to me, it's the mole people. There's people that live under the earth, and they always have. And I think it was like a really casual thing. It's like they just knew, oh yeah, and those people that live under the earth that is being mentioned here. I think they probably knew that certain peoples really did live most of their lives under the earth. Just think about the term underground. Do you know the term underground society? Why is it called underground? Like literally underground. Underground societies are like a real thing. Literally underground. Mole people. I think of this topic whenever it talks about how Jesus was saying that this generation will not pass and there's going to be people who are still alive. I bet that underground in the crazy tunnel systems, there are some wacky things going on that would take our breath away if we knew about it. Like, I bet there's people down there that have probably been hooked up to the latest technology, medical stuff, and they're pushing like 400 years old or something at this point. Anyways, Man, this is just a fun ramble video. Revelation chapter 5, casually mentioning the fact that people live under the ground, I think is very fascinating, and hinting at the fact that it used to just be common knowledge that there were certain groups of people that legitimately lived underground. Now, it talks about Jesus as the lamb, sacrifice, this whole thing, very symbolic sounding. The vision with there's 7 horns and 7 eyes. Like, what did these things even look like? And it always makes me feel like a casual. Maybe it has something to do with my aphantasia. I'm always like, how do these people even remember that stuff? If I had some insane vision in my mind, I don't think that I'd be able to sit there and be like, oh yeah, there were 7 horns. I would have just said that there was like a bunch of horns on their head. But it's always interesting to me how much information they're able to retain, and oftentimes dealing with counting things. Like, they really knew that there were seven horns and 7 eyes going on. I mean, I guess the number 7's not that big. You could probably just remember by seeing. But anyways, continuing on. 7. The 7 spirits. So I've done now a little bit of research about the 7 spirits. Not a ton of research, so I'll just have a minute or two to talk about it. If you want to research the 7 spirits, I think where it would take you is Isaiah, book of Isaiah, chapter 11. Just go read the beginning of Isaiah chapter 11. The whole chapter was seeming very interesting to me. But specifically about the 7 spirits of God, you have the Spirit of the Lord. And somebody left me a comment about this. Somebody said that the spirits were usually brought up in pairs. And I didn't know what they were talking about in the comment, but when I went and looked at Isaiah, oh, the pairs thing makes sense. So there's the Spirit of the Lord, and then there's wisdom and understanding as 2 different spirits. The Spirit of wisdom, the Spirit of understanding. The Spirit of counsel, and the Spirit of might. The Spirit of knowledge, and the spirit of the fear of the Lord. And it is very beautiful how you can see that those are all connected, and they're kind of very complicated, complex subjects. How wisdom and understanding are 2 very different things that are related. Same thing, counsel and might and knowledge, fear of the Lord. They're related ideas. And what I loved in Isaiah 11, specifically what I loved in Isaiah 11, verse 3, when it says, "He shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after hearing of his ears." Some really good advice that I've heard somebody share on YouTube through truther videos. They just said something that their grandpa told them that never left them is, don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. And that is so true about this place. Literally don't believe anything that you've heard. And only believe half of what you see, because the other half has been rigged, or you're looking at CGI or some nonsense. I just love that expression, and it fits perfectly for Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 3. He shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. You literally can't even trust your ears or eyes here. And that's why our God-given discernment is so important. And people who have discernment are often going against the surface level stuff, just what everything you hear people say and hear and just see is very surface level and often incorrect, wrong. All right, that's all I have written down. Hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.